Hello and welcome back once again to the Team 7 podcast. My name is Logan. I am accompanied by Asher, the Ichiraku Ramen shop janitor, and Zach, I don't know, Zach, what do you even do here anymore?
It's your first day?
When's the first slime for some of these guys?
Is it first slime for some of these guys, or what?
What are you saying? When's the first slime for some of these guys?
So this episode is
No.
episode
I've got
15.
beef with you first. You can get back to your intro in a second. You
What?
think that if I was in the Naruto universe, all I would be is the janitor at Ichiraku Ramen? That's what you think of me?
If you think for a second that that is not an honor to be bestowed upon you that you're not worthy of, then I don't know. I might quit the podcast.
If you think for a second that I wouldn't know more than taijutsu, you got it coming to you.
Ooh, this batch. Not a lot going on. A lot of filler.
Hang on, before you keep going with your intro.
Good Lord.
You asked me what I would be in this universe, and I think that I would be Konohamaru's personal assistant.
Okay.
If
So
you're
let's get
gonna,
into that a little bit.
if you're going to bring that upon yourself, then you got it
So
coming.
who of the two of you had like the disdain for Konohamaru?
Oh, that would be me.
Oh, and now you're saying you'd be his assistant willingly? Like that's what you want?
Well, I think it's because I'm a glutton for pain.
Why?
Maybe. I don't know.
Is this some karma? Do you have some bad Reddit karma or something? Is that why?
I will say this. This batch of episodes, as annoying as that little dude
Shit.
is, I felt a little bit in my heart for that kid because I too have lost people that I respect and love, and I didn't want them to be replaced in the spots that they held in my life. And I understood where he was coming from, but still, let Tsunade do her thing, dude.
True.
But that's
Yeah,
why I would be.
dude.
That's why I'd be his personal assistant. Is I would be like, "Yo, not now, get out of here."
So you think that you would basically be his little sidekick. What's his friend's name?
I have no idea.
I would be an adult and I would tell him what to do throughout the day. Personal
Let's see.
assistant, not best friend homie type scenario. But can't stand that guy.
Honorable grandson, adult assistant.
Best part of that scenario in this episode batch is when Tsunade is confronted with what's happening. And she's like, "Who cares? I'm the first Hokage's granddaughter. And I got things I got to do." I'm like, "You tell it like it is, Tsunade."
Yeah.
Big fan.
Big fan. We love Tsunade around here.
All right. Sorry, Logan. Back to the intro.
Episode 15. These are episodes 95 through 101. We skipped 97, but 97 was not the only filler episode here. 97 was the only like full filler episode, but 99 is an anime canon episode, which we may call in an expert on that later because we need some clarification or something. But it is not a manga canon. But it's not filler. 98 had a ton of filler in it. 100 had a ton of filler in it. And then 101 was all filler. So basically 95 and 96 were the only like manga canon driving the story forward. And obviously Tsunade's like inauguration as the fifth Hokage was also canon. But yeah, so we'll start where we left off on that huge cliffhanger, which you could see now that you guys were upset, but like he did get the hit on Kabuto, and Kabuto is just a little bitch, so like he healed himself very quickly. But yeah. So what were y'all's reactions to the end of the Sannin fight? A lot of cool stuff. We get a little mecha for a little bit with those with the snake and slugs and Gamabunta. So thoughts, reactions, what stuck out?
Manda, not happy to be there. Not
No.
Did not want to come to the party. Wants 100 human sacrifices. How many times has that happened? This seems bad.
100's a lot.
It's not a little
100's
bit.
got to be like the most like that he's ever asked for, right? Like, because it's such a high demand. What Orochimaru is asking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I to to speak to like the end of the last batch, beginning of this batch, I knew in my heart of hearts, in my tiny little smooth brain, that Kabuto was not going to die yet. But I hated it so much. I just knew there would be something. Again, I think he's like 75 years old and he's been shape shifting. So he just knows a ton of regenerative jutsu.
Yeah. So what about you, Z?
The three things that stuck out to me. First thing, I've said it before, holy tongue. That thing is
Yo, we got it like a full like tube of tongue.
I'm talking grappling. I'm talking projecting him like using it as like a jetpack. I'm
Yeah.
talking snake sword out the mouth, bro. Everything about that tongue is so brutal. Even the look of it. I'm I'm all for it though. Freaking Orochimaru is growing on me so much because every time he enters the scene, I'm just like, this guy is so ruthless with everything that he does. So that was number one. Number two, Toad Flame Bomb with the oil from Gamabunta
Cool.
and the fire style jutsu.
Cool.
Whoa.
Here for
Nice
it.
one, Jiraiya. That's what I'm saying. You know,
Jiraiya is no liar.
exactly. And he is telling the truth with that flame bomb. That's what I'm saying. Third thing, Katsuya, the big old slug, that was a the face just looked like a big old butthole to
Yep.
me.
Yep. Old chocolate starfish up there.
But the
Well, I
purest because
somehow
it's pure
knew
white.
that I knew that y'all were gonna bring that up because I saw that too, and I was like, I'm not gonna bring it up. But I knew that one of y'all, I thought it was gonna be Asher, to be honest. But yeah, it's an unfortunate drawing.
Illustration style, yeah.
Yeah.
If Zach
But
hadn't, I definitely would have, but it reminded me of that part in I can't talk. Bridesmaids where they say they're gonna go bleach their buttholes because it was just
Yikes.
pure white. So is
Yikes.
that okay?
I
Is that
wanna
okay to
know.
say?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's just
Hey, do your
hilarious
thing,
scene.
Asher. Janitors have a lot to talk about in their
Hey,
off time.
hey, let them cook.
But yeah, Katsuya, is that how you say it? They had a more
Uh
graceful way of saying
yeah.
it.
I think it's
Katsuya,
Katsuya.
Katsuya. Anyway, I wanna know more about her. It seems like a girl. Is that correct?
Yeah, Katsuya, that's the name of the slug, right? Like that's
Yes.
so I mean it's like the slug is a female. Like the same way that like Gamabunta has like a male voice.
Right. I just
But
wanted to
like there's not
confirm. I
like a
didn't know.
girl like behind that like we're ever
Yeah,
gonna meet.
right.
If just to yeah.
Yeah,
So
I mean, so overall, that was my top 3 things, and also just bringing back the, um, mecha the mecha conversation.
it's funny. And now it's like all I think about every single time that they summon a beast or whatever you want to call it. So Naruto he I guess defies the curse or whatever and wears the necklace. I get a little confused on this. I can't remember when he gets the necklace. Is it before he hits Kabuto with the Rasengan or is it after?
I think it's
I'm pretty sure it's after.
after
And she like puts
because
it on him once he's like,
incapacitated. Yeah.
yeah, okay, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which there's something to say about that entire scene because Orochimaru is kinda like fighting with Jiraiya up in the sky, you know, they're just, like, battling it out, and then they stop, on what's the snake's name? The snake's like
Manda.
neck,
Yeah.
Manda, and Orochimaru kind of realizes Naruto's strength after the Rasengan is mastered and used, and he just goes straight for him, beelines it straight to Naruto. And my whole reason for bringing this up is the amount of times Tsunade puts herself in front of Orochimaru's blade to save him. I thought that was super cool to see her be selfless,
Yeah.
and that's all we've been told is she's selfish and doesn't care about anything other than her own wealth and all that stuff, but, like, clearly that's not the case. Like, we've seen, you know, a different side of her, and I even think that scene is kind of what unlocked her saying, "Okay, I'm officially gonna be 5th Hokage." Is like, I am able to protect, and I just proved that to myself. So, I thought that was a super cool scene as well.
You called it, by the way. Like, that's what happened in this little arc or whatever. Like, she definitely took on the role, and that I think like the end of that battle showed her being more along like the parallel to Naruto, like we talked about last episode. Oh, and Zach, there are some things I text only to Logan because I feel like I've watched all the episodes by like Thursday during the week, and I'm not sure if you have. So I texted Logan this theory I have about Sasuke, and
Mm,
I think I just have this feeling that Sasuke is going to join up with Orochimaru at some
really?
point. I really do because I think, and I mentioned this episodes and episodes ago. I think it's to unlock some power to use against is it Itachi? Is that his brother's name?
Yeah. Itachi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then um they are kind of gunning for Naruto and his power, and I just feel like that's going to be some sort of conflict between the two of them, the four of them, or the Akatsuki. Is it Akatsuki?
Yeah.
Akatsuki. Yeah.
And
Asher got a little Japanese lesson whenever he asked me about that. He said,
it
"Is
was
it
helpful though.
Akatsuka?" And I told him what it actually was and gave him some little fun facts that now he has to live with.
But here's
Um,
the thing: doesn't it make sense?
yeah.
Like Orochimaru and Kabuto, like to our knowledge, defected from the Akatsuki, so there's some reason they're already at odds. We already know that Itachi and Shark Boy and Lava Girl want Naruto, and we know Orochimaru wants Sasuke. So I just feel like these are the factions. This is what's happening.
So I want to clear up one thing. We have been told that Orochimaru has left the Akatsuki, but that's it. That's all we know. And Kabuto, we don't know. We don't know Kabuto's age. We did the math. We know we have a rough estimate, not taking into the effect of jutsu of making yourself look younger or whatever that may be on the
He's
table. We don't know.
97, I think.
Yeah, but for the most part, we can assume that he's like 15, 16 around there, maybe a little older. Um, but we have no confirmation of him being affiliated with the Akatsuki. I'm not saying he's not, but I'm not saying it's confirmed. Whereas it is with Orochimaru.
True.
If that changes your theories going forward. So go ahead. Go ahead, Zach.
I was just gonna respond to Asher's theory. I haven't really thought about that, um, anymore after the first time you brought that up, only because he doesn't really give me, like, he gives me bad guy arc vibes in a way, but he doesn't give me Orochimaru bad guy vibes.
Who?
And I don't
Sasuke?
know. Yeah.
Mm.
Like,
What do you
I
mean?
c
What do you
like,
mean
I
by that?
could easily see him, like, being hurt by Itachi even more and, like, not being able to stand up to the darkness in his own soul. But I also don't I don't know, though, because maybe Orochimaru's too evil and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not that bad." I
Well,
don't know.
yeah, I wonder if Sasuke in my theory again, in my headcanon universe, if you will, I wonder if Sasuke would see it as not an evil thing, but just or even if he does see it as an evil thing, just a necessary thing, because like he has to kill his brother.
Yeah, and that's where I kind of agree, but I'm not sold on it, but I'm not like saying, yeah, that's not gonna happen in my
Yeah.
head. But good thoughts.
I dig it. I like that you guys are going different places in your brain. Um, so the fight kind of ends in a really help dissatisfactory,
Dissatisfying?
Unsatisfactory.
dissatisfying. Thank you. A dissatisfying way, uh, because there's no like Orochimaru was going to lose, but they get out of it. They leave, and then they go on back to the village, and then we enter the land of filler for the next few episodes.
The land of filler. To your point about it ending on like a less than satisfying note there, I understand that they couldn't really have killed him
Yeah,
just being
100%.
but at the same time it doesn't make it any less um I don't know, just crappy of an ending to that part of it. It's like, gosh, I just wanted them to die so bad, especially Kabuto.
Yeah.
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 I feel like the dissatisfaction was mainly like not getting a ton of clarity on what's next in that like encounter. Like it was almost just kind of like, all right, I'm just gonna go find a new body. Peace. And like nobody tried to do anything about it in anime 101 fashion.
Yeah.
Like it
Like,
was just
okay, they
like
get the right to leave.
right. Like Jiraiya was fine and he just said, wait. I'm like, he's not gonna wait on you, bro. Like, do something. But yeah, that was the only dissatisfying thing for me.
Yeah. And that's mainly what I'm talking about is that like it was just basically like, and now we're done. Everyone go their separate ways. Like it wasn't like anyone
Yeah.
got beat and I realized that they can't really be beat, but like it would almost be better if Kabuto or I don't know, if they were like swept out of the situation somehow. I don't know. That it was like more of a reason besides just like Manda takes off, see ya. Now we're out of here too
Yeah.
with no contest. But right to leave. That's the whole anime 101, just like Zach said. So they go back to the village. If you didn't watch 97, which is Kidnapped, Naruto's Hot Spring Adventure, I will give you the summary real quick because I did watch it. Did either of you watch it?
I skimmed it.
Okay. Oh, you did watch it. Okay, Zach. So do you guys want to talk about it at all?
I made 2 notes total.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
it.
First is at the beginning when they're talking about should we do this or not? And Tsunade's like, hey, let's stop here and sit in the hot tubs or hot springs or whatever.
Yeah.
This was my first note. I feel like Jiraiya agreeing with Naruto that they should get going is a nod to the writers to speed it up. Like, like this was our first episode of filler, right?
No, we had one at 26,
That's
27
right.
maybe. But
It
we
just
skipped it.
it just felt, I don't know why, but it gave me the vibe of like the writers of the anime being like, come on, we need to get going. You know what I mean?
That's honestly might be real because by this point in time, they had season 5 that was it. And if I'm not mistaken, by this point, all of the Naruto manga was out. And so they knew they were going to hit a wall pretty soon. And ultimately that led to season 6, 7, or 6, 7, 8, and 9
Yeah.
being 99% filler. I think there's like 3 episodes that we're going to cover from those 4 seasons, which is crazy. So I mean, there's a very real possibility that you're right.
You never know. But second note was what a waste of an episode.
100%. It's like, and so is the 101, which is gotta see, gotta know, Kakashi Sensei's true face. both of those are quintessential filler. Like, you're not going anywhere with the story. Like, it is something that is just like funny inside the world of Naruto, cute, something to air to buy themselves a week, and people watch it and they love it. And sometimes they don't. But and that's not always the case. There are filler arcs that are really interesting. There's a filler arc that's right after Naruto, like OG Naruto finishes, that goes over more stuff about the Aburame clan, which is help Shino's
Shino?
family.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. And it's honestly, if you guys wanted to watch it, then we could build that in and whatever. But at the end of the day, it's filler, but it is more interesting. But
Here
yeah, I think 97 and 101 right over the plate filler.
I'm confused about the filler though, because when we when you and I texted Logan, because I had questions about 101, Zach, and I wanted to wait until now to kind of fill you in on it. But for 101, I was like, hey, did this really happen? Because Sasuke is in his old clothes, not his
Yeah.
onesie. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. It's like a flashback. Or it's a or is it like a parallel universe thing? Because I was confused. Like, do the filler episodes, are they things that actually happened? Or are they parallel universe Naruto of like this could have happened, but it didn't really, and it's just an episode that's there. And
Well,
Logan's answer has bothered me ever since, and I'll take it to my grave.
so now
What
that
is
I've
his
watched
answer?
it, nah, hang on. So now that I've watched, because when you text me the episode or those questions, I hadn't watched the episodes yet. Now that I've watched it, in the inauguration, which this part is canon, in the inauguration of Tsunade, Sasuke's back in his blue and white um, outfit. And then in the next episode, we see him back in his blue and white outfit again. And we also get references in that episode of the timeline where they're about to eat ramen, and Sakura says to Kakashi, um, "You need to like eat up because you just got out of the hospital, or like eat up because you celebrate because you just got out of the hospital," something like that.
Oh.
So that tells us that it is still within that timeline, that it's not another time or a flashback or anything like that. To answer your question, as far as like, did it happen or not? As far, for all intents and purposes, yes, it did happen. But like, that story is not going to like ever come back up in any way with the canon. So like, it doesn't matter if it happened or not.
Okay,
But for all intents and purposes, yes, it did happen.
that really helps my brain because it was bothering me that the some of the filler might have just not actually happened, and they're like, we need to write something in, so we'll do like a fun, clever story. Because 97, I didn't watch the whole thing. I did skip through it, but it seemed like, well, they did do this. It was just side quest that meant absolutely nothing. They didn't even get a good weapon for the boss or whatever, but it was just side quest of absolutely nothing. Entertainment,
Mhm.
I guess. So
Yeah,
I get you now. That it makes sense. Because you said
cool.
later we get some backstory on Shino or Shino's clan, and then some of the later filler is like sand people, right?
Yeah, you get more filler with Gara and Kankuro and Tamari.
Okay, that's cool.
Um, we'll actually, yeah, we'll see them again um, in like canon episodes too.
Okay,
So
cool.
yeah, we got a lot. I'm really like happy for us. I was looking at the schedule earlier today, because we after this we have 4 episodes that finish Naruto, and then we'll go straight on to Shippuden. And roughly estimating, like, really and truly, like, we're definitely under a year away from being done, which is crazy to think about because of everything that happens that I can't wait for you guys to learn. And under a year feels really close for me to be able to talk to you guys about it. Because it, for like 99% of people, whenever I'm like, you should watch Naruto, they don't ever get the payoff at the end that I love so much, that like Lance loves so much, that like we can't shut up about it, that we want to like tell you guys about it. and that's where that's like what makes all of it worth it. So thank you guys for sticking it out and watching this with me, and just giving me your thoughts, just because it has been like truly just a treat for me, because it's I'm like reliving one of my favorite things with you guys, so it's awesome. So thanks. But let's talk about some sadder things. Rock Lee, what did you guys? At this point, I don't see how you're not a fan of Rock Lee. I don't see how you don't. I absolutely love them. These episodes, while most of it is technically filler, it doesn't feel like filler, and it does drive the story forward and give you a ton of context on why some decisions are made concerning his surgery.
I'll just say I'm sold on Rock Lee. I truly am. It's a 180. I have repented. Can I get a hallelujah?
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, it was, dude. This was the closest I've been, like, on the verge of tears watching this in a couple arcs worth.
I love that.
It's all
makes me happy.
Can I just make a connection to that? Is it because some of the faces they drew on Rock Lee in these episodes that just absolutely annihilated your soul?
It wouldn't have mattered if they did do that. I still think I would have been like just broken by it. My mind was as broken as his body, I would say. But the fact that they drew those faces on there, I was like, why are you doing this to me? This is so much.
That's so funny.
I left episode 100 like I just don't feel good in my soul right now.
Yeah, but at least we have hope that we'll see Lee again. 50% chance to 58, 59,
yeah, 58, I think.
58.
So we'll see. And I'm not even giving you guys spoilers. Like, odds are we can probably bet on it being that 58%.
Well, it made me love Tsunade even more, as if I didn't think I could love Tsunade more. But the fact that she initially is just hard ass to him, like, dude, you can't do this. Like, and I'm sure in her mind, it wasn't like, I just need to break this kid down because I'm an adult and he's a kid, or something horrible like that. But she was like, you physically can't. Like, this is, you're gonna die.
Did you watch dub and sub?
Mm-hmm.
Beth, did you watch dub and sub, Zach?
I just dubbed.
Okay.
Dub with sub?
No, just dub.
Did you sub Did you sub your dub?
I subbed my dub.
Did. Okay.
I did a little sub a dub.
I subbed first and then I dubbed.
Anyways, like and subscribe. So
hit the bell.
Hit the bell. So
hey, and hit those notification icons, and then you'll know every time we post something.
Yes, please do it. Actually, but while we're talking about it, like and subscribe for real. What was I going to say to you guys? I got so distracted.
Sub versus dub.
Yes, thank you. So that scene is pretty different. In the sub, it's much more harsh. Like, you cannot, give it up or something like that. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the exact sub translation, but it is very direct. And then in the dub, it's much more suggestive. Like, hey, I don't think you should do this. Which is probably just a cultural difference thing. But that's just, I don't know. Like, maybe I went off on like a Reddit, like, deep dive looking up like how they to no avail. So there's no solution to this at all, but that I've found. Like, why they choose to change some things and why the dub is not just the sub being read in the like correct inflection. Instead, why do they change like things like that? Because that change, that's a tone change.
I was gonna
say,
me too, and probably they changed it because the sub is like let's destroy the watcher listener. And like I was the one who was broken by her
Yeah.
saying that.
Yeah.
And then in the English version, like dub version, it's like, hey, let's just soften the blow a little bit.
Yeah, and I couldn't find any sort of, like, I wasn't even looking for anything specific, but just, like, why those decisions are made, and I know the typical ones for, like, the 4 Kids stuff with Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And One Piece and all that, and, like, that's fine, but it still happens in anime today that's being dubbed today, and they know that the audience is looking for a more direct translation, so why is it being changed? And there's probably a good reason. I have no clue. And it may just be as dumb as like timing on their mouths, which to me doesn't bother me. I'd rather have a more direct translation, but that's just me being a weird elitist about it.
Well,
So
just I only watched dub for I think since episode like 44, give or take. I don't really remember. It's just right around that time. I just kind of switched over because I enjoyed dub more. And I don't know if this just is Asher. I guess let me back up. I in this arc with Rock Lee and Guy, I appreciated every piece of it. And I was glad to hear the story of it. But I have a completely different perspective than Asher on this entire scene and just everything that has to do with this operation. And I don't know if that's because I only listen to the dub and the way that they inflected in the words and the voices and all that stuff versus both, or if Asher's just like a sucker for being manipulated. But
Valid.
from the moment she said that about it being 50% chance to live or 50% chance to die, I was literally like, "Give me a break. Just freaking do it and move on." Like, he's not gonna die. Like, there's no way Rock Lee is gonna die from this operation.
But
I just
Zach,
cannot see them
there are things worse
taking
than
away this.
there are things worse than death for Rock Lee. That's what kills me. That's like
What's worse than death?
him
Not
not
being able to.
not
not
being
being a
Shinobi.
ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why he's doing it. He
right.
was
But
gonna do
he's
it
not
before
gonna
and he
just
knew it was
live
gonna be
with.
58%.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, they got to the point eventually, but like, it to me, I guess it's my age. I don't know if when I was younger and I watched this, I probably would probably be more in Asher's camp. I'm not saying anything about your perspective on how you're taking this, other than to me, I'm like, we both know the conclusion is going to be, well, I either am going to be a shinobi or I'd rather die, and I'm not going to live with the idea of what if I never did this. So,
Right.
like, just skip it. Just do the thing. Just say whatever it takes, get it done.
And that's why
And
all that Rock Lee stuff is filler.
exactly. And I respect that and I get it. But I'm just saying my take on this was as soon as Tsunade says, "Okay, let's heal Sasuke, let's heal Kakashi, let's go to Rock Lee's room," and it's like super somber. I literally was like, "Oh, here we go." Like, just do it. You know what I mean?
I get
But
what you're saying because it's the predictability of storytelling and
yeah,
especially in anime, like 100%. I feel that way and it's annoying to watch through because it's like, let's get to the point.
yeah.
But if you take the content for what it is sad. Like
No,
if you're not in a hurry to get through it, it's a sad story.
100%. That's not what I'm saying at all.
I know
Let
you're
me
not saying
let,
that.
let me say it a different way.
Okay.
Okay? I knew that that's what was gonna be concluded from these episodes.
Yeah.
I'm glad that these episodes and this like side of the story brought Asher over to the good guys side and in the camp of loving Rock Lee. And I hope
Right.
Guy is in that camp too, because you gotta love Guy if you love Rock.
I still don't like
Um,
Guy though. I might love him,
well,
but I don't have to like him.
why?
It's like a family member. It's like, well, I love you, but I don't have to be around you.
Well, that's kind of implied because like he's like a son to me. Ding.
Never again. I I hated the part where they went through the whole like the reasons why the reasons why both of them do things like 100 times. That
Yeah.
bothers the crap out of me. It's just so obnoxious. That's the most obnoxious thing on this show.
But at
Which I
least
will
we got a
say
reason
Yeah,
why they do it.
I like
exactly.
that.
I was gonna say that was the best part of this whole piece is like, why do you guys impose these rules on yourselves? Like 500 laps around the entire Leaf Village on your hands? Insane. And everyone, had the same reaction. But I love that we found out why.
Yeah.
And that's why I respect it. I am appreciative of it, but it did not break me down like it did Asher in his take on this.
I think
That's my only reason for saying any of that.
what you're saying is Asher is a little bitch boy.
No, that's
I
not what
know,
I'm
I'm kidding.
saying either.
The only reason I'm saying that is because I've come to grips, mostly through therapy, with the fact that I am a more emotional person than many out there. And stuff like this, like, it gets deep in my soul for like days. Like 2 days after seeing this stuff, I was like, "Ugh, like, why do I feel dark today? Oh, it's because Rock Lee might not be going Shinobi." I'm not kidding right now. Like, I know this sounds like a joke, but I'm like, it'll like stick.
I wish Zach had. Zach's literally. I wish he had the camera right now, dude. Oh my god.
It'll stick in my body, and like I'll feel the darkness of it for like 2 days after and not realize why, and then think back and be like nothing bad is happening right now. It's just I watched this storyline in an anime.
Let me just
Yo.
add one more
It's real.
comment because I was cracking up. I just was not making noise on purpose just to let Asher explain everything. I will say this though. I love you, Asher, and I love your perspective on this. And no matter what I feel about this, don't ever change because we need that in this podcast. Like I
This is why I'm
I
Sakura.
appreciate I appreciate that. And I'm not saying you're wrong for it. I'm just saying I had a different take on it.
Right.
Like that's all I'm saying. So, Rock Lee and Guy forever.
I did
Love
like
it.
the aspect of it where they win no matter what. I love that kind of like reverse psychology kind of thinking like, hey, no matter what you think you did to me, I still won. It's
Yeah,
very
you're
DJ Khaled.
you're
Very
not
DJ Khaled.
gonna you're not gonna meet two more optimistic people in the show than Rock Lee and Guy Sensei. All right, so that brings us to the final filler episode. Gotta see, gotta know Kakashi Sensei's true face. Uh, did you guys enjoy this episode? Did you not? I wanted you guys to watch it because this is one that like really stuck out to me. I remember where I was when I first watched it. I remember watching on Cartoon Network. I remember who I was with, and I remember thinking because this you know how like I think this is a great example. You know how you watch a movie that you know is a book, but you've not read the book, so you just assume that everything in the movie is uh in the book and described. Do you know what I'm like, you know what I mean?
It makes sense.
No clue.
Okay, so like in Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, there's a scene where Legolas slides down the stairs on the shield. It's not in the book. They put it in the movie because it looks cool. But when I was a kid, I was like imagining, I was like, oh, I bet in the books it's like, and then Legolas slid down the stairs on a shield and knifed an orc in the neck or whatever. Like that's what I assumed. So whenever I
Is that
watched
how
this
you
for the
read every book that you read? Or
yeah, I
just the
can't
Lord of the
help it.
Rings?
Lord of the Rings, I have them on audiobooks, and that's a cheap imitation of the person who is on the audiobooks. So that's where that came from.
For what it's worth, I think you should do your own audiobooks.
Oh, thank you. I would entertain it if somebody wants to pay me to do it. But when I was a kid, I thought this was in the manga. Like, I just assumed that it was all like,
Gotcha.
all of it. So, stuck with me for a long time, but it is a really, dumb episode. Do you guys have any thoughts on it, or is it just like, we watched it and we can leave it at that?
I did put a note as I was watching it. I put, I bet it's another mask, and then
No way. No, you did not.
I have it right here. Like I typed it out or into my phone as I was watching it. It was
That's
I call
maybe
BS.
it was maybe like it was toward the end of the episode. Just so you know, it wasn't like the beginning. I was like, I bet it's this, but it was toward the end after they ate at the place, and then it was like the hot springs, and then the farm, and then they were about to like see it, and I was like, I bet it's another mask. So maybe
Yeah.
within a minute or two of that reveal.
Did you have any notes for it, Zach?
I feel like this is gonna be another, conversation because I have a hot take, I feel like. Of the 101 episodes that we've watched so far, it is number 1 on my list of favorite episodes.
Explain.
Say again.
All I gotta say is whoever directed this episode, I need him to direct more because it was so much fun. If the entire show was this way, I would literally quit my job to become anything that has to do with Naruto professionally. The everything about it was funny. Literally, I put a note 5 seconds into this episode, and I can already tell this is gonna be a favorite of mine.
Can I guess? Was it the crow saying idiot?
I'm pretty sure that had to do with it, but it was just like the, like, slow pan of Naruto's eyes, like, things like that. It was just so much fun for my tastes. Like, just every little even the most predictable pieces of it, like the fastest bowl of ramen to date with Kakashi eating that thing within, like, 4 seconds,
Yeah.
and, like, with, like, the whole team coming in, like, last second, I was just like, "Classic. Love that." You know? I love that Sasuke was involved and the whole way that they got him involved of like, "What if it's us?" And he's like, "Mm." Like, every piece of this episode was just amazing. Also, we find out there's movie theaters and movies, so not only do they have walkie-talkies and communication technology, they have cameras of some sort somewhere, so that's news, like
Well, uh we have camera references from the tuning
I guess we
exams.
did in the Forced to Death.
That's
So we
true,
can
but
just
that
go
was
ahead and assume that the world technology is somewhere equivalent to like the 90s whenever this was being written.
Couldn't tell you that's the truth because I've not seen anything other than
Not
cameras.
utilized nearly as much, but like
but it's there.
the capabilities are there,
Yeah.
like the walkie-talkies, and maybe 90s a little too much, but like
I'd say 40s.
I don't know, 70s, 40s, I don't know, something. But like
Yeah.
there's TVs and cameras and yeah, radios.
So I've mentioned this a few times in the episodes before. I am a huge Pokemon nerd. You can tell from the stuff behind me. Love the anime of Pokemon. Love, big sucker for the Team Rocket, Jesse and James and Meowth.
That's
Everything
right.
that they have to do, as predictable as that is, that just gives you kind of perspective of where my head is. And the Hataya trio reminded me so much of Team Rocket that I was like, these guys are idiots and I love it. Every piece of their shenanigans, if you will. The little leaves covering their butts and
Dude,
their
yeah.
berry trees, like every piece of it. The dung droppings from the horse with the horse just cheesing at us. I'm
Did
telling
that
you
happen
guys.
twice?
Yeah, it did. They reused a lot of frames and I loved it.
That got me. The
Every
second time I just laughed out loud.
yeah, literally everything about this episode, I was like, give me more. And maybe there's more filler with the same director. I didn't do any research. I need to. Maybe it's the same director that's been doing a lot of the episodes so far. I don't know because I can't read Japanese, but I'll look it up. But I just, yeah, I agree with everything, and even Naruto at the end when the mask is revealed underneath the mask. What the hell? Like, that's exactly what I said, Naruto. I'm right there with you, bud. That's where I was with this episode. And when it ended, I was like, I'm gonna watch it again.
Did you watch it
And I
again?
did. I sure
Nice.
did.
I did
I
not.
love
I'm
that.
gonna give you a just maybe slightly different take. The second note I made for this after the crow saying idiot was, "What the f is this? I hate this." This was like
Wow.
I
Did the
it,
frog laughing change your mind at all?
a little bit, yeah. It did grow on me throughout. I liked how different it was in the end, but there's something about my simple brain that is like, I don't want to get off track of the story. Like I was telling you all last week, I didn't like that we had so much time away from Shino and Hinata and Kiba, and just other people in the village. So this was like, oh, I don't like this at first. So it took me a minute, but what was it? The thing that really got me, I'm surprised you didn't mention this, was the fact that was it Kakashi? The book he was reading was called Make Out Violence.
No, it's Make Out Paradise.
Where did I get violence from then? Was that in the translation somewhere?
Let's call in an expert on this.
Do
Lance.
do we have an expert on hand? Maybe.
I don't know if he is
Um,
on hand. All right, Lance. Is it Make Out series with is it always Make Out Paradise, or is it Make Out and then Make Out Violence is like a iteration of Make Out Paradise?
Hi. Hello. Hey, can you hear me now?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry. To the best of my recollection, I believe the series of books is called Make Out Paradise, and that there is a book that's called Make Out Violence. But as you've already mentioned earlier in this episode, there are a lot of like weird translation things that go on between like manga and sub and dub. So off the top of my head, that's the best answer I can give you. Also, hi, I'm Lance, and
Okay, I will say hi, Lance.
glad to be here.
I didn't.
Hi, Lance.
That's crazy that you just happened to be available for this.
We phoned a friend real quick.
I w-
At the drop of a hat.
I will say I did not go back and watch this in dub. I only did this one in sub because I did not want to watch it again. Unlike Zach, so I did get that from like the translation, like in the sub.
Yeah, if y'all want to keep going, I will. I'll mute and just go Google it real quick and see if I can get a good answer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll maybe phone you back here in just a couple minutes.
Holler at me. I'm here.
We're wrapping up anyways, but yeah, that episode is I love that you loved it so much, Zach, because it is so much fun. It's like a reminder that this show at the end of the day is still like or was a cartoon that was airing on TV for families and children to like watch together. And I think that this is like such a great representation of like just like living in the Naruto world, but having like a fun time or good time or whatever. That's just like I have nostalgia for this episode for sure.
Can I just make one comment to respond to Asher? I also want more of this story. Like, I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying if the story felt like this episode throughout and there was like a lot of that humor mixed with like the seriousness of it and like the funny frames where it's super zoomed in on people's eyes and just like funny facial expressions and like Groundhog's Day reiterations of the same thing. Like moments like that, just I'm a sucker for it.
Yeah.
Just like you're a sucker for the Rock Lee, like what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? And so
Absolutely.
take the feeling of like angst that you had for the Rock Lee news and like I gotta know. That's where I was with this episode of like, I need more of this. And I love this style. I love the humor. It just in the same way that you want the story to continue, I was glad to have a break from the seriousness
Right.
because that's just who I am.
I get
But
that. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say overall, I know it's not gonna be like this, and that's not gonna disappoint me.
Right.
I just love this episode so much.
I will say, and I totally see where you're coming from, and I hope no one thinks that we're like at odds about it or anything. We're not.
You're
We're
at
not
Oh,
fighting.
we're quarreling, bro.
We are quarreling. We're not
Hey,
fighting.
you guys are
I'm not
stressing me out.
mad. I'm frustrated.
If y'all could just take it easy, you're
Here-
stressing me out.
Here's what bothered me about it the most, I think, is the fact that Sasuke was so invested in it. And here's why. I know Zach's shaking his head at me right now. I get it.
Let me do it for the camera.
There he is.
That's what I did.
He's just never like that up to this point. So it feels so out of character. And I want him to be that way, but it took me out of it. Like I was like, I don't believe it.
That just gave me an epiphany from the beginning of this episode
Mm-hmm.
when we were talking about your theory with the Orochimaru. I feel like I've let filler infiltrate my view on Sasuke, and I apologize.
This makes
Because
sense.
after seeing the goofiness and like we gotta know.
We got the
whatever it
playful
takes.
side of Sasuke. Yeah.
Yes. When I saw that, I was like, there's no way he's going to Orochimaru's side.
And
But it's filler.
that's like the issue with like, did it happen or not?
Yeah.
Right. Right. So I will wash my head of that and get rid of
No,
that
don't
thought.
do that. Now I'm sad.
No, I'm not saying like I'm not gonna love it. I think I took Sasuke's character as canon when I shouldn't have. It was just extra playfulness, and I shouldn't let that affect the actual story. That's all I'm saying.
I do agree. I think that that's smart. All right, so we've got an answer to the make out paradise question from earlier.
Yep. So I looked it up, and I can confirm that they are a series of books written by Jiraiya, and it's this list says no.
Yo,
book.
that is not a spoiler, but Asher was very surprised by that fact that Jiraiya writes those books.
That's not that
Shoot.
surprising, actually.
My bad.
It's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. They've been
Yeah.
told that. It's in the show already.
That's what I thought. Okay. But yeah. Okay.
No,
so
that was more me being surprised that like it's not surprised. It's like, oh, of course. That's his research. That's what his research is for.
Yeah, the
exactly.
research is actually happening. That's hilarious.
Well,
Keep going, Nat.
you can call it research or you can call it an excuse, I guess, either one. So this list makes it seem like there might be more books than what we know of, but in the show, and I won't confirm how many there are because there would be spoilers, but the first book is called Make Out Paradise. That's the first book to appear in the series. The second book is called Make Out Violence, which is the second book, and this note says it also became a movie. I don't know if that's a note for like in the show it became a movie.
Yeah,
there's not a Naruto movie about the book because that would probably be terrible.
That's what started this whole debate.
So no, not so in the episode, whenever Kakashi is looking in the window at all the different books and whatnot, and then he turns around and there's a poster out there and he said, "Oh my god, they're making it into a movie." That's what he was talking about. So it's in the show.
hysterical.
And that's when it came up on the screen in the subtitles that it read "Make Out Violence," right, Asher?
Yes.
So then it was its own iteration. It's of the second book. That's cool. Interesting.
It's like the 50
also-
Shades of the Naruto universe.
It's also
100%.
interesting that that's Kakashi's favorite book because he said they're making him out of my favorite book.
Yeah. I mean, that's what he was reading whenever they were doing the like Bell challenge, whenever he was not taking them very seriously.
I
But-
can't wait to learn more about Kakashi just based on his literary choices.
And that makes me say I wish we get to know more about Jiraiya too, because he's the source of those books.
He is a capitalist.
100%. So Lance, we are finishing up season 4.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask them all the end of season questions I usually do. But
I can't believe it's already end of season.
Yeah, this season flew by. And
Next thing
honestly,
you know, we're going to be doing a podcast on the Gilmore Girls. Sorry, keep going.
Oh, I can't wait.
Love that show.
So yeah, Lance, you know the story well enough to know where we're at. So fifth Hokage just inaugurated. You know what's coming up. Pretty exciting stuff. Is there anything that you want to talk about not coming up? Anything from the past that you would like to talk about?
Well, I texted you this the other day, or I think I texted all 3 of you, but the last, like, few episodes of the show have been my absolute favorite because it feels like the flow is there. You all are just, like, invested in a way that just fulfills my heart, which, Logan, you mentioned that earlier, just how, like, what a feeling that is when you're, like, trying to convince somebody to do something that you love. And some people have the personality of, like, they're just automatically not going to do the thing that you want them to do. But just to hear you guys, like, talk about something that we care so much about is really fun. So, as far as, like, what's coming up is definitely, without spoiling anything, some of my favorite things that happened in the entire uh saga of Naruto. So I'm excited to hear what you guys think about everything coming up. Um, I think Tsunade is a really cool character. I don't it's been fun to kind of hear you guys talk about the way that she's perceived early on because it honestly reminded me of things that I'd sort of forgotten about. And I can't be more specific than that because I don't want to spoil anything, but
Well, you've seen like the
um
whole scope of the character too. Like I've mentioned
yeah,
this about Logan, like you've seen the end game of everything. So I'm sure
yeah,
it's different going back to like the beginning of that.
it's totally different and in ways that like almost make it more fulfilling because you're just sort of reminded of like some of the little like character building details that sort of just become built into the character later on, but to remind yourself of where they came from is part of the fun. So and I think you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm super pumped for the next handful of episodes. I think the way that the series ends is actually super fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of which, what's coming up? We're going to talk about that real quick. So we are
Can
going to
I
be skipping.
can I
Yeah,
do one thing real quick? The most
absolutely.
annoying thing about all of this was when they do finally get back to the Leaf Village, you see everybody like training. Can we just talk real quick about Akamaru like just pissing on everything in that forest?
Yeah, dude. I meant to bring that up. Like,
So funny.
what a weird
Hey,
thing.
what a weird way to say that though. It's aerial marking.
Oh, aerial marking. My
Yeah,
mistake.
that is kind of cringe from you, Asher.
Canceled.
Is
Canceled,
that
dude.
is that filler or is that drawn on a page somewhere?
I honestly don't know. If I
That
had to guess,
has to
it's
be
probably
filler.
filler, but I
But
don't know.
okay, the annoying thing though was Hinata talking to Shino and being like, "It's great that you and Kiba like have your thing that you're good at." And then for some reason he's like, "You had something to ask me." And it never comes back to that. And she never says anything because it's Hinata, and of course she doesn't talk. Does that come back? Can you please tell me if that it's eating me up? Does it ever come back later?
What episode is that? Probably 99
98.
or 100, 98.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be honest, I don't have a single clue what you're talking about.
I know it's not going to come back, but it bothered me to no end because Shino is the one who's like, "You had something to ask me," and then it cuts to Konohamaru getting buried face first in the chest of Tsunade very inappropriately. I did not appreciate him doing my lady that way. And then Neji was looking
Them
for birds.
Sonies.
Sunnis, get out of here. I'm saying stop saying that because then I gotta get out of here. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, bro. We're on the same page.
Oh, and we have to talk about Shikamaru and his dad. I loved it. I just love the father-son relationship and the 12-year-old kid trying to figure out women. It's like there's a certain part of it that's like, this is not good. The things he's saying about women are not good things, but it's also like, hey, this is some kid who just hasn't experienced like a relationship with someone of the opposite sex, and his dad is like, hey, I am caught up in your mother's apron strings, and that's how it goes. That it'd be like that, you know?
Yeah.
So I just watched the scene that you're referencing about Hinata and
Shino.
Shino,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes you're exactly right. Like she says, it must be so nice to have something that you're good at. This is the dub, and I'm watching the dub and sub at the same time, and it's basically the same. And he's like, uh, so and you're gonna find something too. And she goes, yeah, or something. And then he
She
says,
goes,
so what is it? Yeah. And he goes, so what is it? And I thought that she was gonna say, or he was asking, like, what is the thing you're gonna be good at? And then he said, didn't you have something you wanted to tell me? And then she goes, yeah. And then it just goes straight into the Ruka Sensei scene. So I don't understand what that would have been. I can't remember what their characters were doing that would have we don't have any sort of context for that. It makes no sense.
no, they're just kind of training. Akamaru's peeing. I'm sorry, arrow
Lance, do you
marking.
know what it could have been, even with what's coming up? But like, there's nothing that
I seriously don't have a clue. I
it
don't have
makes no
any
sense.
recollection of that scene, and I haven't watched those episodes in a while, but
Yeah, you can just forget those
yeah, I'm
or
not
forget
trying
that.
to I would never try to spoil something, but I genuinely think it would be helpful for you to just forget about it because I don't think that's gonna ever come back up.
I have
Maybe
no
it's
clue what
just
Shiggy
like a
and me talking about.
non-factor. Maybe it's just like a non-factor thing, and it's like not something to that's like super big, and you're just not putting it in the forefront of your mind.
Could
I have
be.
hope that they're gonna say something in the future.
True.
That's totally possible, but I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm like some kind of Naruto encyclopedia, but uh, you know what I
Pretty
mean.
damn close. Uh, so let's
I'm
talk
just
about
playing.
what's
I
coming
hope
up.
it comes back around.
So we just watched through 101. We have 3 episodes of season 4 left that we're going to be skipping. So that will take us to ooh, actually, sorry. There's a few episodes at the beginning of season 5 that we're also skipping. So it will basically be skipping to 107. So 107,
Dang.
battle begins, and then I think that is episode like 5 maybe on Netflix or something like that. I don't know. You can find it, but the battle begins 107. So that begins season 5. It is my favorite intro. It's season 5 has a lot of my favorite stuff in it. From OG Naruto. Uh Absolutely can't wait to get into it and honestly get through it. I really am looking forward to like finishing this up and getting to Shippuden. Because it's just like I don't know, a big hump that once we're in Shippuden, it just feels like a downhill from there that we're, you know, gonna finish it out and see it through. So I'm
Can I
excited.
ask a question?
Yeah.
How long is it until we get to Shippuden?
Yeah, it's gonna be the same amount of time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Can I ask a question?
yeah, go ahead.
How long is it before we get to Shippuden?
It's gonna be the same amount of time, yeah.
I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you list off the other episodes that we're going to be watching? Because this is just for me, actually, and maybe for people watching on Netflix, but I'm watching on Amazon Prime now, and those are kind of laid out like Netflix as well.
Okay.
Can you like list
So
out the numbers and
yeah,
the titles, maybe?
So I don't want to give all the titles.
Oh, don't do titles. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm just going to give you. So the Battle Begins is going to be 107, and that's only part of the title. But the Battle Begins is all you need to know. And then we're going to be going through episode. What is this? I'm so sorry. 114. So goodbye, old friend. I will always believe in you.
And there's
So
no
watching
skipping
through that, and there's no skipping
in between those. Okay.
We actually won't be skipping any more episodes until we finish season 5.
Nice.
Yeah. And then basically we'll finish season 5. We'll watch 2 episodes that happen in season 6. Or maybe like a few more that bleed into season 6, and maybe like 3 or 4. And then the very last episode of season 9. And then that will be it. We will skip everything else in 6, 7, and 8 and 9, which is wild. But yeah,
wild.
So close to the end, very, very close. We've only got 4 episodes, so we're a month out. If you have any like corrections, updates, or just answers to questions that we had during this, please reach out to us and let us know. I always enjoy it. I like to be corrected and know it for next time. So feel free to reach out. But what, Asher?
We're just making faces at you while you do outro stuff.
It's awful. I hate all of you guys because it's the camera's only on me, so I'm the only one who gets to see you.
I'll take it. Thanks for letting me join in, guys. I love you, and I love this show, and I love Naruto.
All I have to say is never again. This is your last one, bro.
I'm gonna have to disappoint you because what's coming up is gonna keep me around.
Hey, it's always a pleasure to have you, Lance.
Always.
Honor.
All right. So next time, season 5, the coolest intro.
Wait.
One of the coolest intros. What?
Are we doing end of season?
Oh, we are. We
Oh
are.
my
We are at the very
God.
end. Okay. So who was your favorite
You almost
character?
blew it.
Almost. As if we couldn't have done it next week. So who was your favorite character from the season? If we can remember just the season. So that's going to be from Itachi showing up to what we just watched.
Zach, I want to go on 3. Can we do this and just see if we say the same person?
Let's get it done.
All right. We'll go 1, 2, 3, and then say it. 1, 2, 3. Tsunade.
Jiraiya.
Wow. Okay. I love that. Okay. So mine's Orochimaru. Well, actually, mine's actually Ochimaru.
Oh my God.
Oh.
That's just payback for Shippuden.
Hey. My other question is how long it takes till we get to Shippuden.
Shippuden is a few episodes closer, so it won't take us as long.
Who is
Sicky.
Shippuden? What's his deal?
It's like the Dalai Lama's cousin or something. So season 5 next time. Can't wait to see ya. If we have any more season 4 questions, I'll let you know. But we kind of did all the sign-off stuff, so might as well just go, right?
You don't want my top 3?
Yeah, go ahead. Your top 3 from the 8. Have you watched any of this season along with us?
Not all of it, but some of it.
That's a lie.
But I can answer it.
Yeah, go ahead. What's your season 4 favorites? Top 3.
So I'm gonna say Kakashi, Naruto, and Jiraiya.
Dude, what? Those are the safest answers. That's like the proof right there that he didn't watch.
Okay, Shikamaru, Shino, and Shikamaru's dad. whose name is Shikaku, not to be confused with Shukaku.
God, that's
Stop.
confusing. Holy
Stop.
crap. Okay,
Can I
so
list off
Yeah.
my favorite like frame?
Yeah.
It's when Rock Lee gets the news that he could die, and all we see is this.
I know, dude. I know. I took the camera from you. You do it again.
Oh, sorry. Rock
Okay.
Rock Lee finds out that
Wait.
he could die. Wait, what?
The camera, you got it. You got it. Go, go, go.
Rock Lee finds out that he's possibly gonna die, and all you see is this.
It's like
real close.
Like GoPro Fish Islands is just
Yes,
right
it
on his
is.
forehead.
I don't
Straight
know
out of a
why.
like Enjoy Skate video from 2002.
We've seen
my
that.
God.
We've seen that with Lee. We saw it with Tsunade very briefly when she gets the blood on her, and then with Gara. That
We
was
see
a
it with
creepy
Gara a
one.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. We saw Gara. Blah, blah, blah. We saw it with Gara like 3 or 4 times in that arc of like from prelims to like, you know, Naruto and Gara fighting. Which was a long, like I was thinking about
Feels
it
like so long
again.
ago.
Like it does feel like it was a while ago, but at the same time, that arc just took forever. Like it is most of Naruto. Like it didn't like it not in a bad way. I love that arc, but like it is long. It's a lot longer than I remember this watch through for whatever reason. It might just be because like I'm talking about each part of it now than like just
True.
watching through it or whatever. But there's just so much that I forget about each time that I watched again. But really doing this podcast has given me so much more depth and knowledge because I've taken the time to like look things up or whatever because we have a reason to. But anyways, thanks for watching. We really do appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Watch us on YouTube or listen to us on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. That's what they always say on the real ones that I listen to. So thank you. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.